The incredible journey of the hidden billionaire exposed. One elegant woman discovers his life-changing secret. In the heart of Maplewood, Lucy Roberts thought life couldn't throw anything tougher her way. The year since her divorce had left her battered and bruised, but her 16-year-old daughter Mia was her beacon of hope. Running a small flower shop wasn't just a business, it was Lucy's way of crafting beauty from her pain. Each bouquet she arranged was a gentle reminder that life could still blossom in the most unexpected places. But financial strain loomed, crushing her with every declined credit application. One sunny afternoon, Lucy walked into the local bank, her heart pounding like the last throes of a dying flower. As she paced the cool marble floor, glancing at the ornate ceiling, a gentle voice pulled her from her thoughts. "Can I help you?" It was Jack, soft-spoken with a warm smile that crinkled the corners of his blue eyes. Little did Lucy know, beneath that modest demeanor was a billionaire who had chosen a life of humility and service. As they talked, she couldn't help but pour out her dreams tangled with fears. She spoke of visions for her shop, to fill Maplewood with color again, to instill joy in her community, if only she had the funds. Jack listened intently, his expression kind. It felt as though he saw the struggles behind her eyes, the longing to provide a better life for Mia. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Days turned into weeks, and Lucy found her heart opening to Jack in a way she hadn't expected. Together, they volunteered at veterans events, planted gardens, and organized community festivals. Each moment they shared swept Lucy further into a companionship that was nurturing her spirit as much as it was blossoming her resolve to stand tall as an independent woman. But just as hope painted the edges of her world, trouble began to stir. Mr. Thompson, the town's powerful figure, eyed Jack's quiet influence with disdain. Whispers surrounded the once humble man, seesawing the town's loyalty. "He's hiding something," people murmured. Seeds of doubt were sown in Lucy's community, wielding a distinct threat to the connection she valued. Caught in the middle, Lucy felt torn. Could she cling to her dreams while guarding the heart of the man who had become her unlikely friend? A confrontation loomed as tensions rose, nailing shut the closeness they had nurtured. The fears began to grip her chest like a vice. What if the blossoming friendship with Jack unraveled in the light of doubt? Just when she thought the love and unity of Maplewood would fracture, Jack stood firm, defending Lucy and the community against Mr. Thompson's prejudice. In that moment, courage surged within Lucy, challenging her to question her worth and her fight for the people she loved. As dust settled amid rising tensions, Lucy found herself at a crossroads. Would she stand for her dreams, risking the bond they'd created? Or would she embrace the qualities of kindness, loyalty, and hard work that had been her guiding lights all along? The question hung heavily in the air, charged with urgency. What would she choose when the true cost of ambition weighed upon her soul? Lucy stood in the middle of her flower shop, the floral scents swirling around her like an embrace. The sunlight spilled through the window, casting warm hues across the carefully arranged bouquets. But all she could feel was a knot tightening in her stomach. Jack had come to mean so much to her, and as she replayed his steadfast support during Mr. Thompson's fierce accusations, her heart ached with uncertainty. Mia burst through the door, a whirlwind of energy and teenage drama. "Mom! You won't believe what happened at school today." Her enthusiastic voice broke through Lucy's swirling thoughts, but her daughter's excitement felt hollow, as though it was miles away from the gravity of Lucy's situation. Taking a deep breath, Lucy forced a smile. "Tell me everything, sweetheart." Mia animatedly recounted the day, her eyes sparkling as she spoke about a school project. But as Lucy listened, she couldn't shake the weight of her own concerns. How could she focus on Mia's triumphs when there were shadows standing over her dreams? As the conversation shifted towards Mia's future plans, Lucy felt a flicker of hope. You know, Mia, sometimes we have to take risks to really grow. Just like those flowers, she said, gesturing to the vibrant colors around them. They don't bloom without a little stretch, a little push against the soil. Mia paused, an inquisitive expression crossing her face. Are you sure you're okay, Mom? You seem different. At that moment, Lucy realized how much she wore her heart on her sleeve, how her struggles seeped into her demeanor. She knew she had to make a choice. She couldn't let the fear of losing Jack, or what the town thought, hold her back from her own future. I'm working on it, Mia. Just figuring some stuff out. With an encouraging nod, Mia trotted off to sift through the fresh deliveries, leaving Lucy more introspective than before. She thought about the weekend festival coming up, the very one Jack had helped organize. It was meant to be a joyous event for the community, a celebration of resilience and unity. But now, it felt like a battlefield. Lucy knew she needed to show the town who Jack really was, who he could be in their lives, not just the man Mr. Thompson painted him to be. The hours crept by, and as evening settled in, she took a long, deep breath. She had to speak with Jack. They needed to address the tensions brewing in Maplewood before they escalated further. Her fingers trembled as she dialed his number, her heart racing with anticipation and anxiety. Hey, Lucy. Jack's voice was smooth and calming, as always. But beneath it, there was an edge of concern. I was just thinking about you. I need to talk to you, about the festival and everything that's been going on, she said, her voice steadier than she felt. There was silence on the other end, a pause heavy with unspoken words. Of course. When and where? Let us meet at the shop, she suggested, her resolve hardening. We need to come together, not just for us, but for Maplewood. As she hung up, Lucy felt a glimmer of determination. Maybe she could find strength in vulnerability. Maybe between them, they could defy the whispers and show the true spirit of their community. With each passing moment, the excitement and the fear battled within her, leaving her uncertain but resolute. As she arranged the flowers for the next day's orders, Lucy's mind raced with possibilities. What if they could turn the tide? What if their bond could inspire others to recognize the strength in kindness and acceptance? But the night's darkness deepened, sending a chill down her spine. She knew they were walking into a storm, one that could either tear them apart or bring them together more fiercely than ever before. Would they find a way to confront the truths lurking in the shadows? Would they stand united against the tide? The hour grew late, yet hope shimmered faintly through her fear. Tomorrow marked a pivotal moment not just for Lucy and Jack, but for the heart of Maplewood itself. What awaited them when they faced the community together? Would love conquer doubt? Or would mistrust and betrayal take root? The next morning, the sun rose over Maplewood like a golden promise. Lucy opened the shop, inhaling the sweet and earthy scents of the flowers. Each petal, each leaf felt like a reminder she needed to be bold today. As she arranged lilies and daisies, she thought about Jack, about that conversation they were about to have. Mia rushed in, her backpack bouncing against her. Are you ready for the festival, Mom? Everyone's so excited. Her eyes sparkled with youthful enthusiasm, but Lucy could sense the underlying tension threaded through her daughter's excitement. Ready as I'll ever be, Lucy replied, forcing a smile. But today, we might face some tough questions. About Jack? Mia asked, her enthusiasm dimming slightly. Yeah, Lucy said. I need to show everyone who he truly is, not just what they've heard. Do you think they'll change their minds? Mia questioned, chewing her lip. It's possible, babe. But it's going to take more than just us. We'll need the community to come together. Moments later, Jack walked through the shop door, a sight that ignited a warmth within her, mingling with the familiar floral scents. His presence was magnetic, yet today, there was a kernel of tension in the air between them. "Hey," he greeted, running a hand through his hair. "I'm here." "Thanks for coming," Lucy said, her heart pounding. They stepped aside after Mia went to set up a flower display. "How are you feeling about today?" Jack asked, looking earnestly into her eyes. "I'm nervous," she confessed. "I want to stand up for you, for us, but the doubts are rolling in like storm clouds. Can you handle it?" Jack's eyes hardened with determination. "We can handle it together. I'm not backing down. I want to show them who I really am. I want them to see you're not alone in this fight. I can't lose everyone's respect. It's my shop, my home, my community. Then let us show them our strength," he encouraged, squeezing her shoulder. "You have to believe in us, Lucy." As they left for the festival, the town field was alive with activity booths set up, laughter in the air, and strains of joyful music wafting through the atmosphere. But Lucy felt the unseen eyes already watching them, the whispers were palpable. She spotted Mr. Thompson at the far end, his arms crossed, a smirk playing on his lips. "Well, look who decided to join," he called out, his voice loud enough that heads turned. Lucy clenched her fists, feeling the flicker of fear. "Just ignore him," Jack whispered, steadying her with a glance. "Let us keep our heads high." But Lucy turned toward Jack, her heart racing, as she felt the weight of the moment. "What if they don't see who you are? What if they only believe the rumors?" "They will eventually," he assured her. "But we have to start somewhere." As Mia beamed, handing out flower bouquets to eager festival-goers, Lucy felt courage rising in her chest. They were all in this together, supporting each other as a family, bond strengthening around them, yet, just as Lucy was beginning to feel a wave of hope, she caught a whisper amongst the crowd, "What is he doing here?" It wasn't he the first, nor would it be the last. It was the spark she feared, a reminder that not everyone was willing to change. "Stay close," she said to Jack, her voice firmer, but doubt clawed at her emotions. Would they survive this scrutiny? As they ventured deeper into the throng, Lucy and Jack felt the palpable energy of the festival, and the weight of the town's gaze. Would their unity in the face of prejudice hold strong? Or would the whispers grow louder, drowning their love and efforts? The struggle for acceptance loomed on the horizon, and Lucy felt the storm brewing. Today would be a defining moment for Jack, for her, and for the community. The truth was out there, but would anyone summon the bravery to confront it? The festival was in full swing, and the air buzzed with excitement, yet Lucy felt the weight of uncertainty crushing down on her heart. Booths adorned with colorful banners and excited children darting between stalls brought a festive atmosphere, but all she could hear were whispers. Every time a laugh bubbled up, it was like a shadow chased her, reminding her of the judgment that hovered around. Jack threaded his fingers through Lucy's, grounding her momentarily, but her stomach churned with anxiety. What if they couldn't face it? As they walked through the festival, Mia led the way, her voice rising above the chatter. "Mom, can I show Jack the pie-eating contest?" "Sure, let us do it." Lucy cheered, wanting to capture any happiness she could. They moved toward the crowd gathered at the designated spot. The contest was about to start. Laughter erupted as enthusiastic participants plunged their faces into whipped cream-covered pies. It was silly and messy, but the joy was infectious. Lucy caught sight of Mia's glee, and it warmed her heart. Yet, just beyond the laughter, the same critical eyes bore into Jack. Lucy turned slightly to see Mr. Thompson again, now whispering to two other men, their heads nodding in agreement. She felt her cheeks flush with anger. "Hey, remember to keep smiling," Jack said, nudging her gently, pulling her focus away from the negativity. "Yeah, I'll try," she muttered, still tense. Jack smiled, that charming smile she had come to love, and squeezed her hand again. "Let us just focus on the good stuff." As they cheered for Mia, Lucy felt a mix of relief and dread. The court of public opinion could shift with a single misstep. Would her community be willing to forgive past judgments? Were they ready to change? "Mom, look!" Mia shouted, pointing. "The cakewalk is starting." That small moment of joy made Lucy's heart flutter. A flash of determination surged through her. She couldn't let fear dictate how she felt today. "Let us go!" she exclaimed, leading the way, her spirits lifting. They joined a long line, and Lucy laughed at Mia's unwavering enthusiasm. The music played, and every few seconds, the whimsical sound of laughter rang out around them as contestants picked their way through the big circles. But beneath it, she could still hear the murmurings, the glances, the whispers turning the festive atmosphere into something jagged. Then, in the midst of the light-heartedness, a voice slid through the crowd. "You think he's really changed? People like him don't change." It cut through Lucy, sharp and cold, twisting her stomach into knots. It was an unmistakable jab, and she felt Jack tense beside her. The joy of the moment flickered, as she turned slowly to face the source, a middle-aged woman she recognized from the old book club. "Excuse me, but you don't know him," Lucy responded, her voice steadier than she felt inside. "He's not what you think." Just then, someone else chimed in, laughter trailing his words. "Yeah, right. This is Maplewood, not some big city." Jack took a deep breath, and she could see his jaw tighten. "Isn't that the point?" he said suddenly, emotion bursting forth in his voice. "We shouldn't have to be what others expect us to be. I'm here for Lucy and Mia, and if that's not okay with you, then maybe you need to look in the mirror." Lucy's heart raced. It was a challenge, and it drew the eyes of the crowd. She held her breath, feeling the tension ripple through the air. Jack had just put his heart on the line. How would everyone respond? As the murmurs grew louder around them, Lucy could only hope for understanding from this community she held so dear. The stakes were high, and she felt the weight of their gaze more than ever before. "Let us go," she said to Jack quietly, not wanting to be swallowed by the wave of negativity and stigma swirling around. But she wasn't ready to give up just yet. What would it take to change their hearts? Would they allow new perspectives to blossom, or would they hide behind their old fears? Lucy wasn't sure of the answers, but as her pulse quickened, one thing remained clear. Today was just the beginning of their fight, and she was determined to see it through. But when a familiar face stepped out from the crowd, a grand gesture poised on the tip of their tongue, would it push them forward or tear them apart? Lucy's heart pounded as she watched the familiar face emerge from the throng. The golden curls bounced lightly as Clara Davenport strode forward, her presence commanding attention. Clara had been the queen of the Maplewood social scene, always at the center of festivities, never one to miss a chance for the spotlight. "Jack!" Clara called out, her voice ringing clearly above the murmur of disbelief from the crowd. "Lucy!" The tense atmosphere shifted, and Lucy felt a flush wash over her from embarrassment and uncertainty. Everyone's eyes were now glued to Clara. Did she come to defend Jack or throw him further into the fray? Isn't this a delightful festival? Clara beamed, completely unfazed by the tension. She wrapped an arm around Lucy's shoulders, drawing her into a light embrace. "I see you two are making the best of it, despite, well." Lucy caught the slight hesitation, the pity that flowed underneath Clara's words. Jack's expression was a mixture of annoyance and surprise, his posture rigid. He wasn't here to be a spectacle. "Clara, we were just," Lucy started, but Clara interrupted, glancing around the crowd as if to read the room. "Have you ever heard the saying, 'What doesn't kill you makes you stronger'?" She smiled brightly, trying to create a comfortable atmosphere even as Lucy felt the anxiety crawl higher. "Let us show everyone why we're here, shall we?" Clara's confidence was infectious, at first. Lucy felt a sliver of hope as she looked around, trying to gauge the crowd's reaction. Some were still skeptical, their faces etched with doubt. But others looked curious, interested even. The tide of judgment might be shifting. "Come on, everyone!" Clara exclaimed, clapping her hands together. Let us have a cakewalk with a twist. Let us invite Jack and Lucy up. What? Jack exclaimed, his incredulous look mirrored by Lucy. Yes. Clara insisted, eyes sparkling with amusement. You're both part of this community, and it's time to show everyone what a little courage looks like. The way she spoke drew more attention, managing to pull in onlookers who had merely been passers-by. Clara, always the performer, was ready to turn this into a spectacle. The stakes weren't just about cakes now, they were about their values, about trust and transformation. Lucy looked at Jack, uncertainty flaring. Are you sure about this? He hesitated, the weight of the moment pressing heavily on his shoulders. But then, Lucy saw a glimmer of determination in his eyes and unwillingness to back down. Let us give it a shot, he said, squeezing her hand tightly. With that, they stepped forward, heartbeats sinking to the rhythm of the music as they took their places at the center of the impromptu stage. The crowd quieted, anticipation buzzing in the air. Clara affirmed the rules and the music began a peppy tune that sparked laughter and a few cheers. But with every step they took, anxiety lingered on the edges, a silent challenge against all the doubt they faced. Jack clumsily twisted to avoid bumping into Mia, who was beaming brightly as she cheered for her mother and him. Lucy could feel her stomach flip as the rhythm seemed like a countdown. As the music paused, Jack turned to face the crowd. We're here to embrace mistakes, to learn and to grow. I'm different now, and I'm proud to stand beside Lucy and Mia. His voice carried, strong and clear, cutting through the lingering whispers. Suddenly, a voice piped up, but what about the past? Jack paused, the sincerity of his next words hanging thick in the air. Our past doesn't define us. We all have the strength to change. The crowd buzzed again, split. Some murmured in agreement, while others scoffed in disbelief. Clara chimed in, riding the momentum, let us take a chance on each other. After all, we're all part of this beautiful town. In that moment, Lucy felt a lightness inside her, a flicker where doubt had taken dark root. Would this truly be enough to sway her neighbors? Then, just as hope bubbled within, an unexpected challenge appeared, a familiar face stepping from the crowd, ready to disrupt everything they had built. What would they do now? Would they meet the storm head-on or shrink back into the shadows of judgment? Lucy held her breath, gripped by the uncertainty of what lay ahead. Look who decided to join the party, a sharp voice cut through the air, dripping with sarcasm. It was Jenna, Clara's former best friend and the town's gossip queen. Her presence sent a chill through the crowd, a ripple of tension rising like a storm cloud. Jack's face hardened, and Lucy felt her stomach drop. Jenna stepped forward, the crowd parting as if they were the Red Sea. Confidence exuded from her, she was in her element. I must say, Jack, I didn't expect you to stoop so low. Is this your grand redemption? Jenna's tone was mocking, and the crowd seemed to lean in closer, gathering gossip like a hungry pack. Lucy felt the weight of eyes on her, evaluating, questioning. The flicker of hope that had begun to bloom now faded into unease. Jenna, this isn't the time, Clara shot back, but Jenna waved her off. Why not? Everyone deserves a good show. Besides, are we really supposed to believe that a few words and some silly dance steps will make us forget what he has done? She crossed her arms, a smirk playing on her lips. Her followers, eager for drama, giggled and nodded in agreement. Lucy clasped Jack's hand tighter, feeling his tension radiate. Ignore her, she whispered, trying to reassure them both. But Jenna wasn't done. You think standing up and making a speech will just erase the past? I can bring up the endless rumors about the two of you know. Jack's voice cut through the noise. It was firm and loud, drawing every eye back to him. This isn't just about me. It's about all of us learning how to move forward. Yes, I've made mistakes, but I'm not about to let you drag me down anymore. Jenna raised an eyebrow, clearly enjoying the drama. But everyone loves a scandal, don't they? How everyone came together when they heard the truth about you. It's entertaining." The crowd's murmuring echoed her words, some nodding, others visibly conflicted. Lucy felt desperation welling up inside her. What had Clara ignited? This was no longer simply about dance and celebration, it was so much bigger now, a battleground of perceptions and beliefs. Why can't we just have a little fun? As Jenna continued, her eyes flickered to Lucy, narrowing as if she could sense the unyielding spirit beneath the surface. "Tell me, how does it feel to stand next to someone with such a damaged reputation? Or are you just in it for the sympathy?" Jenna's words sliced through Lucy like ice. She paused, fighting against the onslaught of doubt. Looking at Jack, she saw the anguish on his face, but also a brightness, an ember of resilience. "We're all part of this story," Jack declared, breaking the silence that followed Jenna's provocations. "It's messy, it's complicated, but at least it's real. If you're waiting for perfection, you'll be waiting forever." This time, there were nods of agreement from the crowd, a shift. Maybe they were beginning to see through Jenna's facade. Each moment stretched, Lucy feeling a need to contribute, to declare that they were more than past events. "But what do you want, Jenna?" Lucy called out, her voice steadier than she felt. "Do you want to continue tearing us down? Or can we try to build something better?" For a heartbeat, Jenna faltered, the smirk dropping, but just as quickly, she regained her composure. "We'll see how far that gets you, one Tiwi." Turning sharply, Jenna retreated, her entourage trailing behind. The crowd buzzed with nervous energy, the air heavy with unresolved tension. Lucy felt her heart thumping wildly. Jack exhaled deeply, relief mingling with apprehension. Maybe this was a mistake, he muttered, looking out at the crowd. But Lucy shook her head. "No, it wasn't he. We're still here, and now we have to push through." Their moment hung in the air like a fragile thread. Could they withstand the storm? Would they find the strength to overcome? But as Jack met Lucy's gaze, a new determination sparked. They were ready to face the flood together. "Let us keep going," he said, determination alight in his eyes. A crackle of electricity surged through Lucy as she found her voice again. "You heard him. We're not afraid of the past. We're here to change the future." But even as she shouted those hopeful words, Lucy couldn't shake the feeling that more challenges were waiting, just out of sight. What other unexpected truths would rise to meet them? "Lucy," Clara said softly, breaking through the charged atmosphere. Her face was pale, but her voice held steadiness, a lighthouse amidst the tumult. "We can't let her win. This is our moment to show that we're better than all of this." The crowd began to murmur, uncertainty ebbing and flowing around them. Lucy could see the duality playing out in their eyes, some supportive, others still swayed by Jenna's words. She took a deep breath, urgency coursing through her veins. "Everyone," Lucy called, raising her voice once more. "This is not just about Jack's past or Jenna's games. It's about all of us finding a way to unite. We've all battled our own truths." She felt the heat of her heartbeat in her temples. "Together, we can create something new, something real that stands beyond the gossip." A light murmuring began, punctuated by a few tentative cheers, but it wasn't enough. Jenna's voice rang out again from the sidelines, "Oh please. You think your motivational speeches can cover up the truth? Let us be real. Who wants to follow someone who has already been through the mud?" Jack squared his shoulders, pushing against the weight of the doubts bearing down. "But we can rise from it. People grow. It's not about where we've been but where we're going." His words were becoming fervent, almost desperate. "We have the chance to shape a future defined by hope, not shackled by the past." The crowd hesitated, caught in a wave of emotion. Lucy turned to Jack, cohesion blooming between them. They were standing on the brink of something larger than either could have anticipated, armed with vulnerability and resolve. "I'm not ashamed to stand with Jack," Lucy declared, locking eyes with her own insecurities. We should embrace our choices, our journeys even if they're messy. Because it's those very choices that bring us to this moment. Suddenly, a familiar face emerged from the crowd. Dad. His brows furrowed, eyes wide with concern but firm, ready to back her. His presence was a lifeline. Lucy, he called out, his voice steady. You have the strength of your mother in you. Keep pushing. Inspired, Lucy could feel the swell of support rising like a tidal wave. With renewed fervor, she glanced around, gathering momentum. If we can forgive, if we can support one another, we can be the community we've always wanted. One marked by truth and resilience. The buzz in the crowd grew louder. Applause began to ripple, fueled by hope that had been stifled for too long. Lucy's pulse quickened, grounded by Jack's fierce grip on her hand. But just when they thought they had turned the tide, Jenna reappeared, her expression defiant. You think this is over? I want to be your scapegoat. I'll bring the secrets to light. Just wait. The crowd froze, uncertainty flooding back in. Whispers started anew. Lucy's heart raced as she felt the familiar panic grip her. What does she mean by that? She murmured to Jack, her voice barely above a whisper. I don't know, Jack replied, worry etching deeper lines on his face. But we can't let her intimidate us. As Jenna's chilling laughter echoed through the air, Lucy realized they were at a tipping point. What did Jenna know that could unravel everything they had just built? Lucy's resolve wavered for a split second, the specter of silent truths looming over them like a dark cloud. But then she remembered her father's words and the energy from the crowd behind her. They were fighting for something real, something beautiful. Ready? She whispered to Jack. Always, he said, squeezing her hand. With a collective breath, they faced the uncertain distance ahead. Whatever came next, they would meet it together, and then, just as Jenna turned to leave, a figure appeared behind her, a face familiar to Lucy, one she thought she would never see again. The revelation sparked an eerie excitement against the dread that swirled within her. Wait, Lucy breathed, every nerve ending alive with possibility. Who had arrived to change everything? What other truths awaited them in the shadows? Lucy's heart pounded as she locked eyes with the familiar figure emerging from the crowd. It was Josh, her childhood friend, someone she had lost touch with long ago. The way he stood, hands jammed in his pockets, eyes scanning the crowd, was exactly how she remembered him. But something in his demeanor hinted at a different life, one filled with secrets she couldn't imagine. Josh? She gasped, more to herself than anyone else. Jack turned, his expression shifting to a mix of confusion and curiosity. Do you know him? Yeah, we grew up together. Lucy couldn't shake the strange feeling that something monumental was about to happen. But how? Why is he here? Jenna's confident smirk faltered, as if the appearance of Josh had sent ripples through her carefully crafted facade. This is rich, she scoffed. Reunions at the town square? What a touching moment. I'm here to tell the truth, Josh interrupted, his voice rising to cut through Jenna's taunts. His gaze landed on Lucy, there was an intensity behind it that made her spine tingle. And it's time everyone hears it. The crowd collectively shifted, anticipation crackling in the air. Lucy could feel their attention fixating on Josh, the energy shifting in their favor. What truth? Lucy called out, trying to keep her voice steady. About my past and yours, Lucy. Jenna's face darkened. Don't you dare, I'm tired of secrets, Josh said, silencing her with a fierce glare. Lucy, these small-town whispers? They trace back to a lot more than just teenage drama. This affects everything. Lucy's insides twisted. What do you mean? I had to leave. I didn't just take off. There were reasons. His words hung heavy between them, filled with unspoken weight. Josh, Lucy stammered, her mind racing. The last time she saw him, he had been merely a boy full of dreams and insecurities. He was the one who encouraged her to reach for the stars, yet also the one who got caught up in the mess of family secrets. "What are you saying? You deserve to know who you're really up against," Josh continued, his voice tinged with urgency. "Jenna knows things that go back further than you think. And I found out things that even she doesn't realize." The murmurs in the crowd grew louder, the tension palpable. Lucy exchanged a glance with Jack, who was equally as bewildered, yet supportive. She felt like they were on the edge of a cliff, ready to dive into a chasm of uncertainty. "People changed, Lucy," Josh said, stepping toward her, vulnerability breaking through his hardened exterior. "I'm not the kid you remember. But what I learned, it can change everything for you." "What did you find?" she pressed, anxiety fizzing in her chest. "I can't say it all here," Josh replied, his expression grave. "But I'm willing to help you fight this, whatever it is. I know the vulnerabilities, I know her vulnerabilities." Lucy's heart raced. The way he spoke felt like a lifeboat in the tsunami of chaos threatening to drown them all. Jack squeezed her hand, urging her to stay focused. Jenna's laughter echoed ominously through the crowd. "You think you can spin your web of lies, Josh? No one will believe you." He turned on her, unyielding. "You don't get to decide that anymore." Lucy felt the air fill with something electric, a shift palpable and alive. If they truly unraveled Jenna's secrets, if they banded together, what could they achieve? "Meet me later," Josh said quietly to Lucy. "I promise I can explain everything." As he moved to rejoin the throng, a sharp feeling washed over Lucy. Could she trust him? The past held so many shadows, and yet here was a glimmer of hope. "Whatever Jenna knows, we'll confront it," Jack said, determination in his eyes. "But first, we need to figure out how deep this rabbit hole goes. We can't allow the fear to take over." Lucy inhaled deeply, steeling herself for what lay ahead. "You're right. We need to plan." With their spirits bolstered by Josh's unexpected offer, they turned back to the crowd, ready for the next wave of confrontation. But in the back of her mind, trepidation nestled deeply. Was uncovering the truth worth the risk? And as they formulated a plan, the questions bubbled within. What secrets did Josh hold? And how would facing Jenna change everything once more? Lucy paced nervously beside Jack, her mind racing with unanswered questions. The hustle and bustle of the crowd faded as she focused only on her swirling thoughts. Could Josh really help her? Could she trust him? The day had turned chaotic and overwhelming, yet in the eye of the storm, amidst the shouting and disapproving murmurs, there was a flicker of excitement. "I can't believe it's him," Jack said, brushing a hand through his hair. "Just like that, out of nowhere." Lucy nodded, her heart still pounding. "He hasn't been around in forever. What could he really know?" "Whatever it is, we'll need to listen to him," Jack replied, his voice filled with steadfast encouragement. "We're not in this alone." Lucy took a deep breath. Facing Jenna and the secrets of their shared past was daunting. Jenna had always been the girl everyone looked up to, the sparkling socialite who never seemed to have a dent in her perfect life. But now? In this moment, amidst the growing tension, she was just another person holding on to too many lies. "Are you ready for this?" Jack asked. "I mean, what if we uncover something we wish we hadn't?" She swallowed hard, knowing he wasn't just talking about Jenna. "I don't know if I am, but I can't back down now. Not when the truth is on the line." They made their way back toward the gathering crowd, heartbeats synchronizing with the rhythm of 1,000 whispers. In that split second, Lucy locked eyes with Jenna again. The invisible ropes binding them felt tighter than ever, as if years of tension could snap at any moment. "Look at you, Lucy," Jenna's voice dripped with mockery. "Hanging on to nostalgia, chasing old ghosts. It's pathetic." Lucy clenched her fists. "You don't know anything about me, Jenna. Not anymore. The jeers from the crowd felt like shadows creeping closer, threatening to drown her in doubt. Still, she held on to Jack's hand, drawing strength from his unwavering support. It almost made her believe in the possibility of courage. "We'll confront this," Jack whispered, brushing a thumb across her knuckles. "Together." The air grew thick, charged with disbelief and curiosity as Josh slipped back through the crowd to them. He seemed both familiar and foreign, a reminder of days gone by that felt like faded photographs. He leaned in close, eyes darting around, confirming no one was listening. "Meet me at the old bridge at sunset," he urged, voice low but urgent. "I'll tell you everything." "Sunset?" Lucy echoed, biting her lip. "What if Jenna hears us?" "Trust me," he insisted, the stress etched on his face was palpable. "She can't know. I'll explain it all. You have to be there." Lucy looked at Jack, seeking reassurance. He gave a slight nod, affirming their unspoken pact. They would do this. They would untangle Jenna's web of deceit, and if it meant rediscovering truths about Josh along the way, so be it. Every moment spent reliving the past was a step toward their shared future. As Joshua slipped back into the crowd, Lucy felt a rush of adrenaline. The atmosphere buzzed, almost electric. When had they stepped onto a stage so filled with drama? This wasn't just about Jenna or even the town gossip, it was about trust, friendship, and the strength that comes from confronting the hardest truths. Jack squeezed her hand again. "Let us get ready for whatever comes next. We'll meet Josh later and figure this out once and for all." "Okay," she agreed, her voice steadier. "We'll face it together. No backing down." With their plan set, Lucy couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the verge of something monumental. They were diving headfirst into a world tangled with secrets. As they walked away, the sun began its descent, casting shadows across the square, and a new resolve washed over Lucy. If only she knew what awaited them at this old bridge. The heart of their futures hung there, entangled with echoes from the past. What was Josh willing to reveal, and how much would it change everything for them? The answers lay just beyond that sunset. Lucy and Jack stood side by side at the old bridge, the weight of the world hanging on their shoulders. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of amber and crimson, echoing the turmoil swirling in their hearts. Shadows flickered around them, echoing the uncertainty that lingered like thick fog. With each step closer to facing Josh, Lucy felt a mixture of eagerness and trepidation. Her pulse raced as the rustling leaves mirrored her anxious breaths. What could Josh have to say that would shift the ground beneath their feet? Would it bring clarity or further chaos? "Are you ready for this?" Jack's voice cut through her thoughts, his concern evident. She nodded slowly, taking a moment to gather her thoughts. "I have to be. I can't let fear guide me anymore. Not when everything we've fought for is hanging in the balance." Just then, Josh emerged from the grove of trees on the other side of the bridge, his familiar face brightened by the setting sun. For a moment, Lucy felt like she was staring into her past, yet his presence was charged with an urgency that felt different. "Lucy, Jack," he said, urgency threading through his words. "Thank you for coming. What I discovered, it's serious." Drawing a deep breath, Lucy steadied herself. "What do you know about Jenna? About everything going on?" Josh's brow furrowed, gathering his thoughts. "Jenna has been hiding some truths about our community that can change everything you think you know." "What truths?" Jack's voice was stern, protective. "Can't she just own up to her past?" "Trust me, it's not that simple," Josh replied. "She's been playing this game for years, holding on to secrets that go beyond rumors. They're linked to me, to us." Lucy felt a shiver run down her spine as curiosity tangled with fear. "How are you involved? What do you know about her?" As Josh shared, the pieces began to fit together. He spoke of a scheme that Jenna had orchestrated long ago, a betrayal wrapped in manipulation that led him to leave Maplewood in the first place. The entire weight of her past seemed to lay bare before them, intertwining her history with their present, a ripple effect unfolding beyond what anyone could have imagined. Her actions didn't just affect my family, they spilled over into yours, too, Josh revealed, pain etched across his face. You were dragged into this mess without even knowing it. Anger surged in Lucy's chest. But how could she act so heartless? How could everyone believe her? Fear. Josh answered, his voice strong. People fear what they don't understand. She used that against everyone, including you. Silence settled in, heavy with realization. Lucy glanced at Jack, his jaw clenched, the resolve etched in his features confirming that this was their moment to embrace the truth, no matter how daunting. Then we have to confront her, Jack said decisively. We have to make this public. The town needs to hear the truth. Lucy took a deep breath, her heart pounding with conviction. Yes. But we can't go in guns blazing. We need to gather the community, show them that we're not afraid anymore. As they strategized the next steps together, a sense of unity strengthened between the three of them. They mustered their resources, brainstorming ways to unveil Jenna's manipulation while creating a sense of hope and resilience within Maplewood. There was a flicker of excitement as Lucy began to imagine a future unshackled from the chains of secrecy. Later that evening, Lucy stood in her flower shop surrounded by vibrant colors and fragrant blooms. She felt anticipation lacing through the air, intertwining with the scent of fresh flowers, an embodiment of new beginnings. With each arrangement she crafted, a vision of what could be dawned upon her. Not just a transformed shop but a transformed community, willing to rise from the ashes of discord. The day of reckoning had come, the festival grounds buzzed with life, laughter, and chatter, an atmosphere thick with community spirit. As people gathered, Lucy's heart swelled with affection. This was what she had fought for, a space where love and connection could flourish, free from the chains of prejudice and misunderstanding. Standing next to Jack at the front of the gathering, Lucy felt invincible. Today was not just about unveiling Jenna's deceit but about redefining their village, a chance to declare loud and clear that they would no longer stand idly by watching the nonsense unfold. Thank you all for coming. Lucy's voice rang out, confident and steady. Together, we have the opportunity to rewrite this narrative. Jenna has twisted our truths out of fear and self-preservation. As Jenna's familiar face appeared in the crowd, something shifted within Lucy. She now saw not just an adversary but a reflection of fears that had once dominated her heart. Josh stood by her side, their eyes locking, fueling her resolve. Lucy continued, together, we need to believe in second chances, in growth, in community. Each one of us plays a part in this story. Today, let us choose to be a united front against the shadows of the past. The crowd murmured, mixed expressions painted across faces, but then, an elderly man stepped forward. I remember a time when we were all friends, filled with kindness. Can we remind ourselves of that? Yes. Lucy cried, heart soaring. Let us remember who we are together. Applause erupted around them, and as Jack squeezed her hand tighter, their determination flooded the air. Standing there, Lucy realized her greatest strength lay not only in confronting Jenna but in forging ahead with love, wisdom, and hope. The moment hung in the air, fragile yet potent. Would they stand together against the tide of doubts? The crowd rallied, a wave of support crashing toward the truth. As Jenna's angry retort broke the applause, screaming accusations without foundation, Lucy felt not fear but strength. No more hiding, she declared, echoing the sentiments of every heart alive in that moment. And in that vibrant festival of unity, she knew they had finally taken the first step toward transformation, one that would blossom long after the last petal fell. Together, they would rebuild a community marked by understanding and love. Together, they would emerge stronger as they turned a page to a bright new chapter of their lives. The battle had begun, but it was one rooted in defiance and hope, and it was only just the beginning. As she walked away, surrounded by love and laughter, Lucy felt invincible. The journey was far from over, it was only just starting to unfold. You need to subscribe now for more powerful stories of transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment with your thoughts and feelings about this incredible journey. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need this reminder of resilience. Together we create change, one story at a time.